Hi everybody, today is a bit of a gear one. We're looking at power stations. So if you checked out some of my recent little videos, you'll know that I have a power station which I leave permanently in my vehicle, and I have now got another power station. So I've just invested and got a slightly bigger one as well. So we're going to have a look at those today, show you what I use them for as well, hopefully get some comments out of you as well later on about what you would want and if you find them useful, if you've got them, and if you haven't got them, maybe it's something you'd like to have a think about. So let's get into it. Right, let's get this open then, should we? So let's have a look. There we go, one side open. That open. There we go. So we know what it's going to look like because big picture on the outside of the box that we showed. It's on here. Got a little leaflet, quick guide, tells us how everything works, how we connect panels up. This is the easy bit. Literally just pull it out. There we go. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's have a look what else we've got in here. So all nicely packaged up with make sure keep it all secure. This is going to be with all the cables and things. So we've got the big cable for plugging it into the wall. That's obviously really thick and chunky cable because it can draw a lot of feed. We've got an adapter so we can plug that into a socket. So like we've got in the back of the vehicle here. We've got a socket there that will go in there, and then that would plug into the vehicle. And then we've also got one as well which is for our little power sockets here for our DC ones as well. So let's have a very quick look at the front. Let's see what we've got that's on here as well. So we've got USB-A, USB-C that's on there. Those are the USB ports that's on there. So we've got two AC sockets, so two 240 volt sockets is on here. We've also got a duplicate of what we just looked at on the side there. So we've got our plug socket which allows us to put something like that in there, for example, and power off from those as well. So that's on that side. If we move over to this side, we've got our ventilation that's here as well to let it come out from on there. And then on the back, nice and easy, we've got our socket to go in, which is here. So it's in there. So that's our main power socket. That goes in there to charge it up. And then alternatively, the other socket that's on here, that, for example, will go in there as well. And as I mentioned to you before, if you've got solar, this is also where you connect your solar into as well, so you can plug your solar straight into the side that's on there. And it's really neat and compact, you know, weight wise. It's nice and easy to carry around. It's not too bulky on that sense. It's in there as well. Yeah, it's really good, well packaged up. So here's my old one. That's my original one that's in there, and this is the new version. Now obviously I've already spoken about why I've upgraded and why I've got the newer version that's on here as well. But this is the River series that's on here, and this is the River 2, and this is a slightly bigger version of what's in there. So I'm going to go away now and test this. As we're filming at the moment, Bank Holiday weekend is coming up. I'm going away camping. I'm going to be taking both of these two with me and give them a good run and see what we come back with, and then we'll do some more filming after that and let you know how we got on. Right, we can now see these side by side. So this is my original Ecoflow River, and this one next to us here is the Ecoflow River 2 and the Max version. So you can get this, a slightly bigger version, which would be like that, if you imagine, with an extra battery underneath it, and that then gives you about the same kind of output as this. So I've basically upgraded. I've got two now, and the reason I've got two is because I generally keep them one in both vehicles. So this one stays with me in my car. This one tends to go in the camper, so that goes in there for that to use it from in there as well. And this one just obviously gives me a far bigger battery range that's on here as well, so I can interchange them as and when I need them for. So what do I use these for? I use these for absolutely everything. When I go camping, I use them for powering things in my garden, for example, if I need to do stuff, it's in there. Power tools when I'm off site, if I'm doing anything, in there as well. So multiple uses. So let's have a quick look into it. So this is my tried and tested one. I love this thing. I think it was brilliant. I cannot emphasize how good this particular power pack is. Got lots of information that's on the screen. So obviously tells you how much charge you've got left that's in there as well. Tells you what your outputs are, etc. Most important thing is we've got USB-C, we've got USB-A, got fast charging capabilities, we've got 12 volt plug-in on there as well. We can see that on the side that's there, and then more importantly as well, if I move all those over, if I move over to the side here, we have got two 13 amp plugs on the side of it, and they can run up to 600 watts from the inverter. If I've been honest, I wish at the time when I bought this I'd gone back and got the extra battery which you can get on the bottom of it, but this is a great size. Without that extra battery, you can move it around, etc. That's in there. So that's the reason why I've got the new one, the slightly bigger one that's here, which actually not a lot of difference in weight between it. So the new one that's on here as well, it's slightly different design in the fact it's got carry handle at the back. But if we have a look on the front here, it works pretty much exactly the same way. Shows us how much power is left in there and what percentage it's on at the moment. Everything on the front panel, which is nice, I do quite like that. So we've got our USB-C and our USB-A sockets that's in there as well. It's worth noting the USB-C, it's got a high wattage output. So for any of you that's got laptops and things like that that need power off USB, so most stuff now is USB-C, you can power from there. Again, we've got exactly the same on this side as well. So we've got our socket that we're used to in there, like a car charger socket that we've got in there. And again, importantly, the 2 power outputs at the bottom that's on here as well. This one's about 500 watts continuous power. It's got the X boost functions as well, so they will run higher than that and give you obviously a higher output to see what you need if you need it from on there as well. That in itself, quite a lot of wattage that's in there as well, will run anything you probably want to run while you're camping. So if you've got fridges and things like that, you need them that's in there as well. They'll more than happily run off those as well. So obviously things like this in the car wise, you can plug your fridge into the car. That's nice and easy. You can just leave it in the car from on there as well. But a lot of, for example, the electric fridges, so the cool box type fridge with a fan in, they are quite power hungry, those type of things. So if you stopped, for example, and you're staying somewhere, you won't want to leave that probably overnight running in your vehicle, because it run your vehicle down. Where something like this, you can. It's very easy to do that as well. I also, as well with these, I found is because I've got multiple sockets on the front, I found that really useful as well, is because we've all got different things for charging. As most vehicles now come with USB-C, there are still some with USB-A, but the majority of new vehicles now have got USB-C. But obviously we've still got lots of things we charge on both variations that's on there as well. And 9 times out of 10, I find it easier just to plug stuff into this and mess around. Plus, I can throw this in the back of the vehicle wherever I need it to be, so wherever anybody needs power, why not? For the cost of these, it's a brilliant option. And cost is an important thing, because obviously on a lot of these vehicles now you can get an inverter on these. Cali Nexus here's got one as standard that's on the side of it. That's only up to 300 watts continuous power that's on there, and obviously it's draining the main batteries that's on the vehicle as well. A lot of other vehicles like the ID Buzz, you can opt to pay for that. Be cheaper, go and buy one of these and it will probably support put one of those on, and again you can use this and use this wherever you're going that's in there as well. It's also worth pointing out with these as well, I'll flick them to the side that's on here. This one's got a little flap that comes up. This one, no, nice and easy, hasn't got a flap, we've just got around the back of it on here. And we've got some inputs in here as well. So we've got our main 13 amp plug socket, which is a kettle lead plug socket, which goes into the side. These will charge up to full in an hour if need be, which is great. Again, if you're camping, for example, and you're on a campsite, most of them have got camp sockets for you to charge things with. You can put one of these on, charge it if you need to, and get back in again. You can also charge it via your car. You can plug that into your socket and plug this obviously into the power bank itself, and that will charge them up as you're going along. So again, if you're driving between locations or something like that, you need to put a bit more power in it, you can plug that in, and obviously that will charge off then and get it to the power you need. And then the other big thing for these is solar. So you can get solar panels, you can plug the solar panels straight in to these as well. They'll take a solar charge that's in there as well. Ecoflow do some really good solar panels as well. I haven't got one, so I'll be honest, I can't comment on how good or not good they are. Don't have any solar panels at the moment yet. Might get some that's in there. Might be quite handy to have those as well as another option, depending on how off-grid we go with something like this. But this is like, it's a perfect backup system that you can get. So what do I use them for, and why have I upgraded? Well, one of the main reasons I upgraded was because I got a fantastic deal that was on this. That helped as well. It was on sale, and I just thought, I was looking possibly about upgrading this to get one with a bigger battery, and I saw this, and basically it was a no-brainer. I couldn't not do it, so I thought, why not? I'll give it a whirl, because I do like these. I love the product, so thought I'd give it a whirl from there as well. But the main things that I'm using it for is it says, is a backup. It's when I'm off-site doing things. I'll give you a prime example of one that we did later on in the year. We were helping out at our local school. It has some lights rigged up to this, some floodlights rigged up to these, because we're outside, which was really handy, and they just ran all night basically off these. So I use this one in my garden shed rather than running an extension lead all the way out and have it wired in, which would probably cost a huge amount of money to get an electrician to do that. I just plug this in. It's nice and easy. I can plug power tools if I need to plug them into it. It's in there. I've got my lighting set up, it just runs straight off on there as well. That might be where the solar panels come in, because I'm thinking I might put solar on the roof of that, and then I can just leave this in there permanently rather than moving it around as you go from in there. I also use it as well, believe it or not, for a kettle, and I've got one here. So this is like my portable kettle that I've got. It's only a small little thing that's in here. Very cheap and cheerful it is. If you look under the bottom of it, it says 270 to 1080 watts. So basically this kettle will run. I've used it with both of these and it will boil the water up. So for example, I can take this, I leave this in the car. If I'm in the camper, for example, rather than having to get the cooker out and get the gas hob on that's in there, sometimes I feel it's a little bit easier and a little bit safer, and just throw that on, plug it into here if we're just off grid, etc. It's on there, and it's a very quick and easy way to make a drink with the kettle that's on there. Alternatively, as well, as if you're using, you're having a quick snack or something like that, and you want something that's dried, for example, that's a nice and easy one as well, again, because you can just quickly boil the kettle and get it in and put it in from there as well. Also charging up a lot of my electronic equipment, so as you can imagine, obviously, you know, phones, for example, some camera equipment that we use, microphones, things like that. These are great tools again for doing things like that. I'd be really interested to know what you use them for. Do you have them? Do you have a power bank, power station at the moment? And if you do, what do you use it for? That's what you're doing. Obviously, if you've got a full conversion like the Ocean we're standing next to here, these are less important or less needed. What's on here? With me, with my beach, for example, I've obviously got one leisure battery in that beach, but I've got no inverter. I've only got the one that's on the actual vehicle itself, which doesn't really give me the power that I need for some things, for example, like kettles. I mean, the kettle will work on that, but it's at a very low range. I'd rather pop it onto one of these as well that's there. And it gives me that extra time as well, because with the fridge that's in there running, obviously that can deplete that battery quite well. So these give me an extra bit, an extra backup running those from on there. Obviously, if you've got something like a combi in there, or a panel van or that you use, or a buzz, for example, which is in there as well. These are them come into their own on that basis if you're going camping, because it's nice and easy. You haven't got to worry about anything else. You can leave your fridge, you can connect things up. They last a ridiculous length of time, these things as well. Obviously, if you're using it on the inverter side, so you've been a high output, it is going to go down fairly quickly, the higher the output that you use. But if you're something like a fridge, for example, and you've got it on the 12-volt supply that's on there, just plug that in for a bit. It lasts a ridiculous length of time that's in there as well. We are going to be doing some testing on these as well, so I'm going to, when we get out, I'm going to be using this a lot more and seeing how long the fridge will work. Obviously, the fridge at the moment I can just plug into the vehicle, but I'm looking at how long these things last, how long we can get off grid. You know, can we get 3-4 days, for example, off grid without having to move the vehicle, and you know, by using this type of technology and moving forward as well. And that's it for the moment. So let us know in the comments box below. Have you got one of these? How you use it? What you think of them as well. Obviously, there are other manufacturers of these as well. This is no way sponsored at all. I bought this when they first came out, Ecoflow. Absolutely love the products, I have to say. That's why I don't buy anything else that's there, but it's just because this is my own personal experience with these products. It's not sponsored in any way, anything like that. These are mine, I do own them. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Put some comments box in the below, let us know what you use them for. Would you like them, things like that as well, and we'll see you next time.